Scene 38, take one.
My name is Birgitte Moos, and I'm Danish. I have a background as a set designer for theater and performances, and I'm a visual artist. I came here in 2003 for the first time, and I lived in Studio City. So one day I went on an open studio tour to the downtown arts district and met some people and saw some lofts that were wonderful, and I was like, I want to live here. That was right in front of Bloom's contraction in this area. It's in the heart of the arts district. So then I moved down here in 2005. I moved into a loft down on Vignes and first in the 900 building, but had to move out 6 months later to the American Hotel. I was in room 420 on the 4th floor. This energy and the artistic environment, I'm like, wow, this is what I've been looking for. That is something for an artist, for the memoirs. And I thought, that sounds like Chelsea Hotel. That's something I gotta try. I was idealistic, naive, came from Northern Europe, Denmark, where everything is safe and organized. But what the heck, I'm gonna take this as a part of my life experience. So I moved in, and hell started. It was very lively, and I'm not used to drug culture, and there was a lot of activity going on here, all day and all night, always. It was quite noisy. I had to sleep with earplugs. And we did have the shared bathrooms, which was a little worrying to me because you never know what people share. And I went to the bathroom, there was blood on the floor and a needle one day, and not having access to a kitchen. And the idea of going and washing dishes in a shared bathroom was absolutely repelling. I had no idea how tough it was here. Then there was the neighbors across the hallway. They were wild girls, and they scared the shit out of me. And their room looked like there had been a bomb thrown in there. Everything around here was going nuts. And then there was the manager. He had some objects there he was collecting from the Second World War, from the Nazis. And one day when I came down and was going to pay the rent, he showed me happily his objects. And I look at him and I say, I'm Jewish. I'm not supporting these objects. And he got so scared. And he didn't dare to talk to me afterwards because he felt so bad about what he was actually collecting. It's somehow surprising he didn't think about what these objects were actually representing. I was only here for 9 months and I had to go back to Denmark afterwards. That's how exhausting it was. Luckily, there was my neighbor. He was a younger Hispanic guy. He was so friendly and so calm. And it was like, what was he doing there? When I moved, I had this little pet, a Siamese fighting fish. I had it in a little bowl, and I gave the fish to him when I left. And he took it and he put it in his big aquarium. It was so sweet that this fish got a new life, a new beautiful life when I took off. While I was living at the American Hotel, I needed space to work in, and some people were kind enough to offer me studio space, and Jim Fittipaldi was one of them. He actually took me in as an artist in residence in the basement, so I could paint over there and live here at the hotel. And I started the Black and Red series while I was living in the American. I got tired of using colors, so I thought about which two colors are the least appealing to use together in paintings. And it was red and black in my case. You know, it could be vulgar, this notion that black and red should be sexy. I didn't want that. I wanted to turn it into something beautiful, where it has depth in a minimal effort. That was what I was working on. Stuart Noble lived here in the American Hotel. He and I have been friends for many years because we moved to downtown at the same time. He came from London and I came from Copenhagen. We hooked up as friends instantly because we were both Europeans and we had birthday 3 days apart, so we got along very well. He had studied English literature and visual communication in England, and he was a very, very intelligent guy. He was working actually with semiotics, in his works, a lot of language. He did apparently some works around in the streets. He was a very humble person, very talented and very intelligent, but he took great pleasure in helping people. Sip Fusion is an Asian cuisine kitchen focusing on sushi. Stuart was asked if he knew somebody who could be interested in doing the redesign of the patio for the restaurant, and he suggested me, and he and I worked on that project and we made it happen together.
And then
We did it very specifically for the community, being a part of it ourselves. He was very generous, and what he did for several young artists was to pave their way and their road to becoming known as artists. We are in a location that is changing a lot, and it's typical what's happening is the gentrification. It happens all over the world, that artists move in expensive spaces where you're not supposed to live in, create communities. There's this mythology and aura about that you are, as an artist, you're independent and you're free and you can live more liberated and have a crazy life, right? People are attracted to that lifestyle, which is such a romantic, idyllic image of artist life, and they want to be a part of it. They don't know that it's tough, hard work, full-time plus full-time work on the side in order to survive, right? But they have the money, they move in, and they take over slowly, and the prices are rising, and the artist has to move out. We can't afford living here anymore. I think there'll be some people here that will stay. There's a core of people here that has been here all the time, and I think they want to maintain the arts district as something unique and outstanding. For the American hotel, it's more than 100 years old. As a vital part of the art scene, it is, as far as I'm concerned, a historical landmark. It contains so many histories about artists' lives. I would fear that the people that has been living here for many years could end up not being able to afford living here in the future. And new people, not artists, would move in. So the history will be lost in the future. I think it could happen.
Cut.